You just got a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, hash browns, and a coffee for $6. Order now only at Dunkin'. Participation in times may vary. Prices vary in California and Hawaii. This is a limited time offer. This is the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'.
Rolling left man with a ball fake. He's going to angle to the pylon. He's going to score a touchdown.
The Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the news and information before every game.
Was at the 14, catch left side of the 10. That's right to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots!
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'.
There he is. You'll see him in just a second. The head coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, back at Nissan Stadium for the first time after being fired by the Titans last year. And now he has since led the New England team to the top of the AFC East. Thanks for checking in with us here on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin'. The usual crew is here: Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault. There you see the coach coming into the stadium.
Oh, slow motion
It's slow-mo. I think it makes
away.
it more dramatic. We need some villain music as well.
He's not a villain. He's our hero.
That's true. He's a hero for us, of course.
This is a little like Reservoir Dogs, you know.
A little cameo for Stacey James as well.
Walking, he got the slow motion walk in too. It's very intimidating.
I like that one. As you all know, probably it's week 7 of the NFL season. Like we said, the Patriots rolling at this point. 3 wins in a row. I was going to say undefeated. 3 on the road, though, undefeated as well. But there's so many storylines that we can follow with this one. Of course, we mentioned Mike Vrabel returning to the Titans arena, but also Brian Callahan earlier this week getting fired from the Titans after a 1-5 season for him. So plenty to talk about. But of course, I think we should start with Vrabel's return.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I had the opportunity when I first started working here about 3 weeks into my tenure in the summer. They said, "Hey, Deuce, you get to go to joint practices down there in Tennessee." So it was, it was a little tough for, I grew up a Patriots fan. I grew up loving watching Mike Vrabel there. We went down and, as the story goes, I was a little bit taken with Derrick Henry briefly there.
Understood.
That's it. But otherwise,
it was embarrassing.
But otherwise, it's great to have Vrabel back on this side of things. And he downplayed it this week, not making this out to be we're not going to go win one from the Gipper. But I think despite what everybody's saying, everybody knows that it didn't end great there. And Mike Vrabel is not the kind of guy to forget. So I think his team, no matter what he says, is going to go out there and play hard for him and try to earn him a victory.
Yeah, I'm with Mike all the way on this. And I loved the way he phrased it, about the interesting and important, part of it. But, yeah, he followed up, I think, later in the week with the, we're not going to go out and win it for the Gipper. But, inside, I know it means a lot to him. I know he didn't like the way things ended, in Tennessee. Now, if he had some truth serum, he probably would admit that, it's a blessing in disguise for him because the dysfunction that we're seeing in Nashville is hard to ignore. And Mike right now looks like he's got the young quarterback and he's got a team that's on the rebuilding, the rebuilding mode looks like it's pointed in the right direction. So it may not have been the way he wanted it, but I think it worked out for him, for the best. And I think if he looked in the mirror and sort of went back over what's happened the last 2 years since he got fired 2 years ago to now, it's kind of worked out for him.
Yeah.
It's landed on his feet.
Yeah, he sure has. And, now you see the Patriots team kind of coming together, and I think that's the biggest, question today is, can this team continue to progress? They certainly have some, I don't want to call them weaknesses yet, but they just have some areas of their game, the running game, a little bit of the passing defense that haven't quite, lived up to, or I don't want to say expectations, but haven't quite rounded out in the ways that the offensive passing game and the run defense had. So, to get to this point and be able to have a game where you can hopefully continue to build on those things and continue building, is that I think everybody sees right now. The Patriots have an opportunity here, but I don't think it's going to be easy. We see Cincinnati winning a big game on Thursday night. You can look at the schedule and look at records and start adding wins, but I think there are a lot of tough games coming up, and they have to focus one game at a week. This is still a team that, as we said, kind of in the relegation, down in the 4th place schedule. Continue to show you're the best of these teams, and today's just a huge opportunity with the team a little bit in disarray. Yeah. Are they going to come out and play really hard for the new interim head coach? We'll see. Sometimes there is a bump, but I'm a little bit I'm not so sure we'll see it today.
So I do think that you'll see a bump for Tennessee. I just don't know if it'll be enough for them to be able to win the game because of the shortcomings on offense, especially. We're talking about Can I just give you a quick little? I know I drive you guys crazy
the
with
floor is yours,
my
boy.
red zone stuff. So
love it.
so I'm watching the London game a little bit, right? And so who's the referee? But none other than Adrian Hill. And I know everybody's like, who? No, everybody knows who Adrian Hill is because we had a game last week that we got to know Adrian Hill up close and personal. And what was one of the things that I sort of criticized? He doesn't even know which way to turn to announce the penalty. And what does he do as we're just starting off our pregame show here? He turns the wrong way to announce a penalty in the Jacksonville Rams game.
We need a sponsor for your rants,
man.
your red zone rants, because
So anyway,
He is in England, so you don't know. They might be on the metric system or something.
Mike,
Facing the wrong
that's
way.
it.
Do not give him an excuse.
Right there. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Like if we were in
It's the
America, we
weather.
face this way.
It's clearly
but,
weather.
You know,
So I do have some numbers that our producer of our Puat, Patriots Unfiltered on TV program, Don Maxon, gave us during the course of the week about the whole new coach bump. You know, the fired head coach bump that you get, and of course I'm not going to be able to find it now.
The numbers aren't that great.
The numbers are really, really good for that team that moves on. And so this is 38 teams that fired their coach during the regular season since 2003. So this is a pretty good sample size. Those teams have gone 17-21 straight up and 22-16 against the spread. Now, for some context for the numbers, at 44.7% straight up win rate doesn't really seem like it's that great. But when you consider that those teams had a winning percentage of 28% leading into that, to go from 28% to winning 44.7% of the time is a significant bump. So the new coach thing, the bump, is real.
Yeah.
I just don't know. When you're talking about offensively, especially for Tennessee, we're looking at 30, 31st, 32nd in virtually every category across the board. Total offense, third downs, sacks allowed, passing, rushing. Like they're not good in anything offensively. I know the Patriots defense has had some struggles, Mike, but this is an offense they really should get fat on.
They should, and I'd like to see them just jump early. Don't let Tennessee come out and play fast and loose. I think that, we were trying to discuss this week, what is the bump? Is it that, maybe a disciplinarian is gone and players just feel like, let's just go out there and let it rip? And we see that sometimes.
Maybe people look in the mirror and say, we just got a coach fired. And, maybe am I doing everything I can here? They're that kind of stuff.
I would say some of the stories that you've heard coming out of Tennessee too, with Jeffrey Simmons having to pull guys aside and say, this isn't how we practice, and those to me are the concerning things. So when you see Antonio Pierce out in Vegas and he takes over and they're smoking cigars and it's kind of cut loose. I just think if you get off to a fast start and really put the pressure on them to have to execute, because if they start to have signs of life and they start to have a little fun and they're saying, hey, we're under this new coach, we're playing a little bit better, they can start to get some confidence. Don't let it get to that point. Come out, start fast, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It's something we've talked about. The coaches have talked about. They just haven't really been able to start fast on defense. I think it'll be huge today.
Well, you teed it up perfectly, because we are now going to get into the keys of the game.
You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now, just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Here are this week's keys to the game.
All righty. Paul, you want to go first?
So I loved the quote that Mike Vrabel had about the important and interesting. So mine's pretty simple. It's focus on the important and forget about the interesting. And it's obviously with regard to Mike going back to Nashville and appearing in the stadium that he once coached the Titans in for whatever it was, 6 years? So I think it means something to him. I think it means something to a lot of other members of that staff that were part of Vrabel's staff in Tennessee. They were all let go. There's some players as well: Harold Landry, Jack Gibbons. Who am I missing? Robert Spillane for a cup of coffee.
Yep.
So I think it matters. It matters to them, but you don't want to get caught up in that game where we have revenge on our mind. And focus on the important, and that's executing your game plan. Being disciplined, taking care of the football, and doing the kinds of things that they've been able to do on this 3-game winning streak, and continuing that way. And if you get in a situation maybe in the second half with a comfortable lead and you want to have some fun, that's the time to do it. But for the outset of this game, focus on the important.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's been the message all week. Vrabel himself said it. For me, and I Paul mentioned the stats. I mean, the Tennessee run defense, 28th in attempts, 25th in yards, 32nd in TDs, 20th in yards per attempt. It's an opportunity to get your run game jump started. Now, I don't think we're going to sit here in the post game and if they have a good rushing game, be like, that's it, they figured it out. But I think they need to take a first step. And if that is against a run defense that maybe isn't quite that great, now they still have Jeffrey Simmons, still going to be a challenge getting around him, getting him blocked. He's probably going to blow up his fair share of plays, but at least jumpstart that run game today. I think that's the thing. Drake May is not going to be able to do what he's done the last couple of weeks all by himself for the last 10 games of the season, put this team on his back. It's going to be really hard. He's going to need some kind of complementary run game. So Ramondre Stevenson, get him involved early, try to find a way to get this run game going a little bit and just something to build off of. I'm not going to tell you, the run game has arrived or anything like that, but if they can just have a solid day on the ground, maybe be able to run the clock out at the end, just shorten the game once you get that lead in the second half, I think will be a huge key today and something they can really build off of, that they need to build off of going forward.
And we've emphasized that over the last few weeks, and mine ties right into yours, really. Tighten your grip for the Patriots. I mentioned off of the beginning of the show the fact that they are at the top of the AFC East, and I think that is a milestone worth noting. And Drake May is obviously a huge part of it, but this week is about tightening up everything that they can, making sure that they have as well-rounded of a game as they can. And that, like you mentioned, it comes down to the run game. How are you able to get points on the ground, especially when you're facing a team? Think of this as a practice. It's an opportunity to get reps in real time to see if your run defense can lock down and, your running game also. Running game and run defense, really.
Yeah.
But overall, just tighten up every part of the game for
I piggyback on that of saying, like I mentioned at the top, the pass defense hasn't been great. Now, they are going to be shorthanded today without Calvin Ridley, their best receiving threat. We all know who he is. So, again, no excuses today. Don't let these guys have any sign of life. Clamp them down. Make them work for everything. Put some pressure on Cam Ward, with your effective front seven. And, just be great to see the whole team kind of come together and solve some of those weaknesses. I don't know if they've solved them, but at least show we're making progress in them. And then as you get into games, coming up next week, you got Cleveland. That's a really, really good defense. You're not going to be able to drop back 40, 50 times against that defense and win the game. So you can find a little bit of the run game, find a little bit of life in the pass defense early. I think it'd be really good to build off of going forward.
Yeah, you should make a team that's ranked 30 whatever in a number of categories look like that.
Yeah.
That's what the other teams have been doing. You want to see the same kind of thing.
Yep.
Overall, we talked about them being 3 undefeated on the road at this point in the season. From what you two have seen, what do you think has played a biggest factor in that fact?
Just kind of sound football. It's not perfect, but when it came down to the gotta have it moments, they've made plays on both sides of the ball, and
they don't turn the ball. They haven't turned it over on the road.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's technically 0. I mean, I go back. They didn't turn it over last week. They didn't turn it over against Miami, right?
Yeah.
What was the other game? Buffalo.
Yeah.
They had a turnover in that game. So they've 3 games, I think they have 1 turnover. I mean, that's a good formula to win.
Yep, that Buffalo one's the only one. And I mean, really, it's just the home game with 5 with Pittsburgh and 1 against Vegas. Those are all the 3 games you've had turnovers in. So playing clean is a huge key to it. But I give them a lot of just a tip of the cap, because I know to win in Miami, to win in Buffalo, no matter what the teams kind of look like, generally those are tough games. And so they were able to pull those out. Hopefully that continues as the season progresses.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we talk about the firing of the head coach in Tennessee, so I'm just losing my words. How do you two think this will affect we talked about we don't know what kind of team we're going to get today, but how do you think it could affect them?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been kind of debating all week, and those, the statistics are kind of coming to light now that teams do generally get a bump, and it's still a losing record, but it seems like they play better after that. And, we could get into the causes. You're not sure why. I just think you got to take that hope away right away and try to come out and show, that they're going to be up against it. And if they want to win this game, they're going to have to execute, in the margins, in the details. And it's not going to be, hey, let's just go back there, cut it loose, throw the ball around. We're going to win a game.
Just looking at the cliches that you would sort of lean on, you get an interim coach stepping in who has some experience. Mike McCoy was the Chargers coach for a while. So, he has some experience in the league. You have a rookie quarterback. Let's try to make it, a little bit easier for him. I think he's been really good at times. He just has no protection and he has no support around him. So instead of asking him to carry the offense, maybe Mike McCoy says, We're going to run the ball a little bit with Tony Pollard and maybe a little bit with Spears, in some of those situations. Lean on the tight end, some easy throws, maybe some play action rollouts, use Ward's athleticism for him, and try to shorten the game a little bit and do things that way. I mean, again, all cliches, nothing outside of the box. That's how I would expect Mike McCoy to try to look at it. He's going to look at those numbers that Mike and I have talked about for the first 15 minutes of the show and say, how do we work around this? Well, let's keep him out of those situations, and let's not allow him to get sacked 25 times. He leads the league, I believe, and that they lead the league in sacks allowed. You can't win that way. Not with a rookie quarterback. You got to make things a little bit easier for him.
Yeah. And obviously that should work to the Patriots' benefit. The rookie Cam Ward, him, not having that protection.
Yeah, no, take him off early. You can't let those guys get comfortable, and that's why Mill Williams sick last week. Well, he's fully healthy. Him and Barmore are just wrecking balls in the middle. Those guys are big keys today.
All right. Well, we are going to go behind enemy lines. It's brought to you by Pepsi. Game day is here, so stock up right now. You can grab a refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar 12-pack right now because tailgating deserves better. All right, we're going to welcome in Teron Davenport of ESPN right now so we could get behind enemy lines. Welcome in.
Hey, well, I appreciate the welcome. I come in peace, though. I'm not an enemy.
Okay, that's real. We're sorry about that
It's
one.
a figure of speech. We're all friends.
I was joking.
Hey, Teron, just to kick it off, what's the mood been around there this week with the coaching change, and how do you feel like the team's kind of rallying around the change?
Yeah, I think when you look at anytime you have sudden change like that and you have an interim coach coming in, it's going to develop a spark, and you're going to have, players excited about it. And I think the great thing that you look at this, talking to Amani Hooker, he was like, I hate to see Brian Callahan go. They got rid of the coach. And if expletive doesn't change, they're going to get rid of players next. So it put the organization, on notice, the staff and the players.
Teron, what are your thoughts on Cam Ward? I know he gets sacked a lot, and that's something that happens to a lot of rookie quarterbacks. But from what little we've seen here, highlights wise, we've seen some playmaking ability as well. What have your thoughts been on him as he's working through his rookie year?
Yeah, there's tremendous playmaking ability with Cam Ward. You look at his first touchdown, rolling to his right and throwing across his body to the opposite side. To the left, and Ayamana had the touchdown catch. Those are the things that he brings. It's just the main thing for him is just staying on schedule, getting the mechanics and footwork to be right in sync with the route progressions and those things. And that's the work in progress for him. It's not a matter of understanding offenses or defenses or anything like that. It's also with him just being able to, believe what he sees, right? And in the NFL, open is like you standing next to me, like as opposed to, in the ACC and in college football where it's like guys are wide open. So that's the main thing, just being able to not process. I don't want to say process, but being able to work through things and believe what he's saying and let it rip.
Teron, on the other side of the ball, Jeffrey Simmons, and I saw that T'Vondre Sweat was taken off of IR as well. They've been a force, generally speaking. But how much of a problem do you think that will be for Drake May today, despite the success that he's been having all season?
Man, I would say this. I don't know that there's a D tackle playing better than Jeffrey Simmons right now. And he's not only playing D tackle, they move him across the formation. And it's funny because I talked to T'Vondre Sweat leading up to this game, and I'm like, hey, man, how excited are you to be coming back? And he's like, yo, Jeffrey Simmons is balling, and that means I got plenty of one-on-ones coming my way. So the big fella, he's going to use that bull rush and try to get in there. But I think when you look at Simmons, if he's not getting to the quarterback, he's impacting and trying to flush him out. And they're going to have like a more of a contained pass rush. If you remember last year, Drake May was able to find some running lanes and get loose, and he had almost 100 yards rushing. So they have to make sure that they defend him correctly with discipline, and Jeffrey Simmons is a big part of that, collapsing the pocket from the interior.
Outside of Sweat and Simmons, who on defense do you feel like is going to need to play a key role today going up against Drake May in this offense?
Oh, L'Jarius Sneed, for sure. He has to play the best out of everybody because you look at Stephon Diggs, like he's a huge factor in their passing game. So this is one of those weeks where I'm pretty sure they have cat covers, and he's going to be traveling with him, and that's what you have to have because I don't think it's a fair matchup with he against anyone else in the secondary. So I'm going L'Jarius Sneed.
So, Tehran, what would we talk a lot about that, when you get that fired coach, you get the little bump. What would have to happen today for Tennessee they're a touchdown underdog at home. What would have to happen for them to pull off an upset?
Oh, man. Well, it's Jesus is going to have to deliver. That's pretty much what has to happen. I can't see any other way that they win this game. So, seriously, I really it's going to come down to, like, if they could find somewhere to get a turnover or some type of sudden change, that's the only way that they'll be able to win, because this Patriots team, they're pretty solid. They could run the ball. You got Diggs. You got Drake May playing well defensively. Christian Gonzalez remains one of the best corners. When he's healthy, you got Christian Barmore, Harold Landry. There's just too much. I don't see them winning at all.
Yeah, it sounds like you're not on enemy lines. But before you go, what is your prediction for this one?
Yeah, well, I'm not on enemy lines. I'm just speaking.
Be careful.
Right.
My prediction. So I predicted 28-7, or 28-10 rather.
Okay. Patriots?
Titans.
There we go. Oh, man.
How dare you?
Well, thank you so much for your insight. Enjoy the game.
All right, for sure. Appreciate you all. Take care.
Thank you, Tehran. Tehran Davenport moving up in the power rankings of behind enemy lines.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Favorite so far.
We got to get him back. Well, it seems like they're playing Tennessee every year, but
Right.
I think he highlights a really important thing, Paul, that feeds into what you said, and it's just that's an easy way for the Patriots to kind of turn the ball over. I mean, they haven't done it on the road. Come out kind of flat,
right?
Fumble. They get it, an easy 3, maybe an easy 7, something like that. Like, just really have to avoid that. And I think it's a huge key, easiest way to change this game's dynamic, quick turnovers.
Absolutely. All right, we got calls coming in as usual. Let's hear what Patty in Agawam has to say. Hi, Patty.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How you doing?
Good.
Good morning, Patty.
So I know this is going to sound really corny, as I know most of my calls do, according to Travis in West Virginia. But I was at the training camp practice against the Commanders, where Vrabel jumped in the pile, and the team kind of saw that he had their back, and I think the team returns a favor today. I don't think there's any way the Patriots walk out of here with a loss. I'm predicting a big win. I'm going 31-12. That's all I got. Let's make it happen, guys.
There you go.
31-12. I mean, talking to some of the players in the locker room this week, there's definitely good vibes with this team right now. It seems like everybody's kind of bought in, and every time you go into the locker room, there's good energy. Guys are talking, a lot of intermingling between the different position groups. Morgan Moses is holding court, teasing guys, and it's just I feel like this team has bought into what Mike Vrabel's selling, and the win streak both reinforces it, but also is, I think, an example of how it is working. You're seeing these guys that even they don't get off to the great start, or they have some bad penalties, or things don't go their way, they're finding ways to still make plays and stay focused. And I think that's just a tribute to the culture he's starting to build here. And admittedly, we're still very early in this process. But so far, so good with what he's building here.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, we got an email, opposite end of what Patty just said, from David May. And he actually said, I'm a little nervous about this one for some reason. It just feels like one of those games we blow into dramatic fashion, which I don't think the team has done that. But with interim head coach, it looks really windy, and we have no run game and an opposing QB that looks like Drake last year. I hope I'm wrong, but do you guys have any of the same concerns?
Dude, I mean, personally, I just think it's a little strange being in a game where it's like, you really should win this one today.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like it's been a while.
You got to knock on wood.
It's right. And that's why you're searching for what the things could be that will derail this Patriots team, because let's face it, they played really well over the last 3 weeks. And it's just a little bit of a strange position. I think the old teams, Paul, you were used to it plenty of times, where it's like, all right, we just need to check this box, stay healthy, and get out of there. It's a weird position for a team that's coming off back-to-back 4-win seasons, and it's somewhat come out of nowhere with how these two seasons have gone for these respective teams.
Yeah, I don't really have any of those concerns for this game. Listen, it's the NFL, and we obviously know all the cliches that anything can happen. And if you want to get sloppy with the football and turn it over, you can lose to anybody. Yep. I just don't see straight up the Patriots having a lot of problems with this offense today. So I don't see any ways that Tennessee can score, say, more than, 17. I think they're going to be hard-pressed to do that. And as long as the Patriots, their run defense has been really stout all year. So I can't imagine, like last year when they went down to Nashville, backup quarterback with Mason Rudolph, and they just ran it down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that happening again. I think the run defense is in a much better spot. This is a today thing. I'm not telling you that this is the way it's going to be the rest of the year. I think we're kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves with how much progress the team has made.
For sure.
But for this particular game against this particular opponent, there's only two things that slightly bother me, and that's the third straight road game and the whole interim coach thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I can give you for Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, I would only add on to that if it just feels like there's probably going to be a turnover today. Like nobody goes one turnover on the road for that many games. It's just law of averages. It feels like there's probably going to be some adversity today. I just hope it's not, Ramondre Stevenson fumbling.
That's very fair.
Or a Drake May brain fart. Well, don't do that, Drake. Just live to fight another day. Go down. That's some progress I think we've seen from him. Don't regress. I mean, but there have been some plays, like let's face it, where they look great when they work, but when they don't, it's terrifying. So far they've been working for him, and hopefully that continues today. But you've got to be careful with the ball, and you can't make stupid plays when you don't have to.
Agreed. I'm really liking this email. The subject line is A House Divided Part 2. I don't know if you two remember Oliver in Nashville, Tennessee. He emailed last year, the day after his wedding. Just a refresher, he's a Rhode Island born Pats fan. His wife is a Tennessee Titans fan. We're on our way to the game this year as well with a baby girl on the way, and her fandom relies on this game. I'm hoping she comes out of this as a Pats fan, and I'm stoked to see Drake May again. That was a November game, so happy early anniversary to you guys. But he says, great show as always. Thank you, Oliver. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats, too, yeah.
Be nice.
Right. So
Just in
awkward.
your pregnant wife's face, like, you're
Exactly.
Hope not.
All right.
She will be a Patriots fan.
No matter what. Let's hear what Nate is calling in from Connecticut about. Hi, Nate.
Hey, guys. Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah.
Hey, Nate.
I'm good.
All right. So my question for you guys today is about our rookie wide receiver, Kyle Williams. He hasn't had the hottest start, with the crowded wide receiver room that's kind of expected. But he's gotten a couple snaps. I think he's had like a catch or two in these past couple games. But do you think he gets in today, or do you think he has, more catches or increased snaps today? Obviously, it's against Tennessee, so I think probably towards the end of the game, if it's a blowout, they're probably going to take out a lot of their main guys and try and get some of the second string or the rookies out. But, I just want you guys' thoughts on that.
Good question.
Yeah. I think Kyle Williams has been part of the equation every game.
Yeah.
Not just late in the game. Some of I want to say like maybe like the first game, someone got banged up, and I think he finished the game. But I mean, he's been sort of targeted, or they've drawn up some plays. I shouldn't say targeted. They've drawn up some plays, I think, with him in mind early in games the last couple of weeks, and they haven't played out. One of the underrated plays of the game last week, after the horrific offensive pass interference on Diggs that took away Demario Douglas's second touchdown.
Don't remind us.
So now it's 3rd and 12.
Yeah.
The next play was a deep ball to Kyle Williams that resulted in a pass interference, which allowed the Patriots to immediately overcome that penalty and score the touchdown anyway. So Kyle Williams has been part of the equation. We haven't seen it statistically, but I think he's running good routes. He's getting open. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't clicked yet. But I see some promise there.
Yeah. Just real quick, his snaps for the 6 games this year, 7, 10, 9, 14, 10, 14. So you're seeing a little bit of a trend upwards.
I mean, for a fifth receiver to get 14 snaps in a game,
not bad.
That's not bad. That means they like him. That means they see something in him.
Right. And you also have, Diggs was on the injury report with a chest. So, aside from pulling the starters, which, fingers crossed, but still, that could be an opportunity for Williams to get some more snaps. Diggs talked about Williams this week in the locker room, and you can tell that they're all kind of pulling for him, and that there's been, feel like they've left some plays on the board with him out there, some big plays. I think they all want that to happen for him. I think it's probably just a matter of time before it does break out. But, if they were able to pull back on Diggs a little bit today and just give him more snaps, I think you're seeing some of the progress that they like getting his feet wet, and hopefully he starts, producing a little bit.
100%. All right. Well, we still have so much to talk about here on the Patriots pregame show, fueled by Dunkin'. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This Patriots pregame show is brought to you by Brunt Workwear. They make work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS. And by Tostitos. Football fans know traditions matter. They're what inspire us to make masa in Tostitos the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels. Discover your next tradition this football season. Head to the store, grab your Tostitos team bag, and scan the code for a chance to score an epic experience with the Patriots. Tostitos. Tradition matters.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
It's the biggest deal in breakfast, Dunkin's $6 meal deal. You get a medium iced or hot coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese, and 6 toasty hash browns. Dunkin's $6 meal deal is back.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
It's the biggest deal in breakfast, Dunkin's $6 meal deal. You get a medium iced or hot coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese, and 6 toasty hash browns. Dunkin's $6 meal deal is back.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
This Patriots pregame show is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires. It's important to have confidence when on the road. With Bridgestone tires on your car, truck, SUV, or minivan, you're riding on tires you can trust. They're engineered to give you peace of mind so you can focus on enjoying the journey. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Available now at Sullivan Tire.
Join the show by calling in at 855-ATS-500 or email at podcast@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots pregame show fueled by Dunkin'.
Welcome back into the Patriots pregame show fueled by Dunkin'. Like they just mentioned, we will get to those calls and emails in just a second. Paul Perillo is still here. Mike Dussault is still here as well. I'm Kwani Lunis. But we want to talk about the inactives and the actives as well. I think the biggest storyline, Stephon Diggs, you just mentioned that chest. He is going to be active in this game, as well as Harold Landry III with that ankle injury we saw last week. But we want to talk about the people that aren't playing.
Yeah, I mean, really the big one is Jalen Hawkins, who did return to practice this week, wasn't able to go last week, still battling a hamstring issue. So probably Kyle Duggar back there playing safety alongside rookie Craig Woodson. But great time for Harold Landry. I mean, when he went down last week, I was like, this is a big one.
I thought it was done.
When we've talked about the lack of depth and just a critical injury that could really hurt the defense especially, Harold Landry, he's kind of the centerpiece there on the edge. So great for him. He survived. He missed 2 days of practice, came back Friday, and still is playing. I've been here a while, Paul. We don't usually see that guy, just comes Friday and then practice. It's
when he was, but he was full. I thought he was in on
full.
Friday. Once he was full, it struck me as a little bit more maintenance than anything else when he came back into play. But I am a little concerned about him in particular, because I don't think he played very well after the injury last week. So I wonder how much that has affected his mobility. Something to keep an eye on. Maybe it won't be a huge deal today. I know it probably means a lot to him as a former Titan to go back into that stadium and play. This is another one of those things. And I know, Mike, you're uncomfortable with this talk of, hopefully it's comfortable and you can get some of these guys out of the game a little bit. Right. Hopefully we're not asking Harold Landry to play 90+% of the snaps today and get him a little bit of rest.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a guy, though, that has been excellent for the Patriots, seems like a consummate professional, voted captain, and I just find myself wondering, what are the Titans, why? Was that a money thing? Seriously. I don't really understand, getting rid of that kind of player from your team on the edge, especially when you look at the depth they have left. It's not that great. So Harold Landry's grown into a key part of this team, and hopefully, it'd be great to just, again, keeping everybody healthy today. So
one of the other inactives, is Charles Woods, and I think that is sort of an under-the-radar blow to the secondary depth. He moved ahead of Alex Austin. Woods did, and I think he's played really well. I thought he had one of the more underrated plays of the game last week that no one really talked about, other than Mike Vrabel, who was mentioned it about 5 times during the course of the week. Him knocking the ball away from Olave prevented the Saints from converting a 3rd and 17, which is a back-breaking conversion. But he was able to stick with that play, and Olave had the ball, had the first down, and was in. I think it was a catch and a fumble. But him knocking that ball away, I thought kept points off the board in a very tight game. So now you're going to be missing him. So that's a layer of your depth that goes away. I'm not as concerned about Kyle Duggar having to play. I thought Duggar played reasonably well last week. I didn't really notice him for the balance of the game after the very first play, which I thought was really interesting. You and I talked about this in the post-game show, Mike, that we thought it was kind of an odd call to come out on play one. Well, Zach Core agreed. When we talked to him during the course of the week, he put that all on himself. Said, I just put Kyle in a very bad spot there, and we were expecting one thing, and we got another, and we got beat. And sometimes that happens. But I thought Duggar was pretty good in Hawkins's place last week.
Just highlight, Miles Battle was promoted from the practice squad, so he's getting an opportunity today. Another guy who finished with the team last year and, was found a way to stick around, getting maybe a little bit of an opportunity, probably mostly on special teams. And then Terrell Jennings, who, if you want to talk about guys, if this game were to get to a nice, easy place, that maybe he gets some carries today. But I still think he's more of a break the glass in case of emergency kind of guy. And but I still would love to see him get some opportunities, because I think they're not going to make it through the last 10 games of the season with just Stevenson and Henderson. This is too much to ask of those guys. They're going to need to find a way to get a third back, at least in a rotational role, or a way to just keep those guys a little bit fresh, because especially getting into the playoffs and as the weather gets colder, you're asking even more of your run game. So I think that continues to be a concern of mine.
Ahead of the trade deadline in November, is there anyone that you two have kept your eyes on with the potential to be on the Patriots?
My eyes are always on Derrick Henry. That's probably a Patriot, of course.
Other than Derrick Henry. But.
No, but
God.
I think that's, the kind of position. I mean, there's various reports coming around of what they are or aren't interested in. I don't really put too much stock in those. But there's been reports that they're looking at cornerbacks, that we talked this week about maybe some linebacker depth, maybe some safety depth with Hawkins out. But to me, running back is the obvious one.
And Jeremy Fowler did say the Red Sox, the Patriots are in the running back market. So we'll see if there's someone, Breece Hall is a guy that I've sort of had an eye on. And I know people just look at it and kind of cross it off because it's the Jets and it's a division rival. I think the Jets would be doing themselves a disservice if they thought that they could make a deal with the Patriots that made sense for them. But, who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
they need a professional running back.
They do, and I think that's why they're using Jennings in this role. I just wonder if they're treading water a little bit to see what is available at the trade deadline, rather than extending yourself to find somebody now. You might be able to maximize the value if you wait a couple weeks towards then. So I'll continue to keep an eye on that for sure.
November 4th, Election Day, and the trade deadline. So it's going to be an interesting Tuesday for us. But I'm going to read this email really quickly before we get into some calls, because we have eyes on the ground. This is Johnny in Nashville. He is at Nissan Stadium, and he's sitting in the top right corner. So we'll try to see if we can find you on the TV screen. But he said it's windy, and I've already seen all the punt returners for both teams struggle to catch punts in this end, except Marcus Jones. Maybe something to keep an eye on. Go Pats. All right, Johnny, keep your eyes on that for us.
Yeah.
Well, luckily he's the guy who returns the punts. So
Exactly, right.
I'm not that
That's
worried.
a good thing, right?
I've heard, some of the writers talked about some rain too. I don't know if that's persisted or
forecast?
not. Kind of hard to tell in our shots that we have. There's your boy Steph Diggs, Mike.
There he is. He's wearing my college.
Looks like the chest is okay.
Right.
So I don't know if the conditions. If we remember, Mike, there was a little controversy with the wind in this game last year in Nashville. Patriots inadvertently went against the wind in overtime when they had their choice of which side, and that was sort of credited with having something to do with the interception in overtime by Drake May.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 18 miles per hour winds right now with a 61% precipitation and 72% humidity. I'm a meteorologist, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, 59 degrees there, and like you said, light rain. So
I think it's
we'll
still
see.
football weather. I'd still put it under football weather, right? It's a broad.
Makes it fun.
Yeah, I don't think the weather will have much of an impact on the game, but I mean, you never know. Like we keep talking about turnovers. You get a wet ball, and all of a sudden, a couple, maybe one over the middle, like it's a little high. A wet ball goes off a guy's hands. Cause, who knows?
I like the sound effects.
We've seen a lot of sort of slipping in the London game, which tends to happen in London. It's ever notice how dreary it is in London?
I've heard that. Is that true? Is that a thing with London?
I just think it's dreary. London fog.
Breaking news here. All right, we got an email.
London fog. Is that really a thing?
Is that a thing?
No, never heard of it. We got an email from a Johnny, so I'm going to answer
Johnny.
this call from the Johnny in Atlanta.
Somewhere.
Oh, there we found him.
There he is.
Shout out to the
Nice
camera guy. Wow. That's amazing.
Slow pan down.
All right, hi, other Johnny in Atlanta. How are you? Oh, you hung up on us.
Johnny.
Oh, I'm right here.
Ooh.
Hey.
We got worried for a second. How are you?
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
Paulie, you remember me? Johnny Euphonic? Mike, how you guys doing?
Good. What's up, Johnny?
I'm doing great. Hey, listen, Kwani, I am familiar with you because I watched the Big Three podcast as well.
Thank you.
Nice to see the Celtics and the Patriots collabo. I love it.
Appreciate that.
I never realized you were left-handed like myself. That's why you're my favorite.
Oh, I'm actually right-handed. Do I look? Maybe I'm ambidextrous.
Actually, Johnny, I'm left-handed.
He's throwing us all off.
And I didn't hear you tell that I'm your favorite, but that's okay.
I'm losing favorite points.
I have a question today. As you guys know, well, Paul knows I've been a listener since PFW, but I don't really have a question today. I do, however, have a request. I am in Orlando right now with my family. We're taking my son to Disney World tomorrow. His birthday
good luck.
Yesterday, and he's 8.
Nice.
So I would love for you all to wish my son Christian a happy birthday.
Oh my goodness! Of course.
Happy birthday,
Christian.
Happy birthday, Christian,
Have
and
the best time.
enjoy the Magic Kingdom.
And don't spend too much money.
Go find Mickey.
Right.
Hey,
give Mickey a hug for us.
2 words: fast pass.
Genius.
And churros.
Go Pats. I got a prediction of 38-10. Again, Matthew Morrell, I appreciate you, my brother, from the past, having my productions on the show. Anyone like to follow me to have some music? Johnny Euphonic at IG.
Thanks for the call, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
Have fun in Disney World.
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Me and my dad were still talking about the churros down there that we got. We were introduced to churros when we went to Disney World, and we just kept going back and back and back. And my dad the other day, this is it was 30, 40 years ago. Remember those churros? I remember the churros.
Now I want a churro. This isn't right. Can we get some churros for lunch?
I don't know if I've ever had a churro.
Seriously?
Oh, they're delicious.
No, we got to find you one. All right, let's hear. Brad is in Ohio. Hi, Brad.
Hey.
Hello, how y'all doing today?
Good. What's up?
Good. Yeah, I can relate to the left-handed group too. I'm a lefty. And
there you go.
One that thinks with the right side of our brain, Paul. That's the way it is, buddy.
The world's set up for a righty.
Huh?
The world is set up for right-handed people.
It's true. I'm sorry.
We have to overcome.
You're not lying, boss. You got that right. Isn't that the truth? So anyway, I think that the score will be 28-10 just because of the weather. I don't think Josh will be wanting to, kind of open things up like he would if it was in.
Yeah, I'll take 28 points.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm wondering if you guys would check, tell me your opinion on. Look, I love the Wilson kid. He's playing great as far as pass blocking. he's really struggled at run blocking, and I'm wondering if that's a center thing and a guard thing, or if Ben Brown, it seemed like the only time we ran well, if I'm not mistaken, you guys, tell me about this in retrospect, is when Ben Brown was actually the guard. Am I right by that, or just give me your opinion? Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
I don't believe they've run the ball well in any games this year, but I do think, Brad, I would agree with you. I thought the game that Ben Brown played, they got better guard play. And you're not the only one that came up with that. I know there's been some talk about that this week around here. I think Evan brought it up on Patriots Unfiltered.
Yep.
Evan Lazar mentioned that maybe Wilson does look like a guy who is probably more suited to center. Listen, the offensive line is so much better than it was last year that I think people have sort of overlooked the shortcomings of the offensive line. It's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are looking at it as like, well, the rankings for this are great and the rankings for that are great. Like, no, it's better than it was last year. Mm-hmm. There's still some issues here and there, and the run blocking, I think, would be one of those issues.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of Ben Brown. I just really like his size and, what he did last year to come in and play center. Doesn't sound like there's going to be any changes today, but, it is two rookies on the left side of the line, and there is some development pains. But, I mean, as far as throwing those guys right in there out of the gate, they've been pretty solid. So, they just got to continue to get in sync. That was what was annoying last week. It was just one of those games where it's your turn to make a mistake. Now it's your turn to make a mistake. It wasn't like, well, this one guy can't do it. It's, so they have good reps, but they also have, some not so great reps. So maybe they can string it all together. I think that's possible, but we'll see today.
Okay, before we close, let's get into our favorite part of the show. It's time now for Over and Unders. They're brought to you by Aaron's, the official lawnmower of the New England Patriots. They're proud to help Patriots fans get back to football. You can visit them right now at www.aarons.com to find your errands. All right, Paul, how did we look last week?
Yeah, so I'm fighting.
He's fighting for his life.
I'm trying to get out of the basement.
Affirmation
yeah.
works.
5-1 last week. Kwani 4-2. Mike 3-3. So the season standings are as follows. Looks like Kwani is still in the lead at 22-14, followed by Mike at 20-16, and Paul at 16-20.
Oh, you reverse.
So I'm still way in the basement, but I'm fighting. And I was 5-1 last week. So
11 games left, Paul. You plenty of time for you.
So I'm still here. I'm still here.
He's still fighting. All right, let's start with Drake May passing and rushing yards. Right now, that's at 260.5.
I'll start us off. I like that number. I'm going over on that for Drake. Got to.
Yeah, I'm going over as well.
Someone stole my pen.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a big passing day.
I'm going to go with over as well, especially. Thank you so much. Oh, multicolored, too. I'm going to go over as well. We talked about, obviously, the run game, but the fact that this one has both, I'm going to bank on that. All right.
There's a mistake here.
Uh-oh.
Touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, Cam Ward probably going to pass for more than 1.5 yards, as much as I think it's going to be a tough game for him.
Okay.
Exactly. So 1.5 touchdowns.
1.5 touchdowns.
What are you taking?
So I am up first. I'm going to take the under on that. I think it's a very offensively challenged team.
Yeah.
See, while I agree with you, I'm hoping they do get at least one touchdown for the 1.5 for the sake of our enjoyment of football. So I'm going to go with the over.
All right.
A little too much faith in Cam Ward today. We'll see.
I got to stick with my prediction, so I'm going to go under with Paulie.
There we go. Keep it consistent.
Yeah, trying to.
Up next, Drake May's longest completion.
Oh,
that's 34.5.
Bombs away, Drake.
I can see. Yes, I'll take the over on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Drake.
Shoot, I'm gonna roll the dice a little bit here. Maybe try to make up some ground on Kwani, but I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say that they're gonna come in and they're gonna say we're not gonna let you beat us deep, beat us with the run, read through everything, try to complete the short stuff, figure it out on your own. No cut, loose receivers running downfield. So I'm going under.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. Tennessee has struggled a little bit with some deep balls, and I think they're going to try another. This is another thing I think when another guy comes in and he takes over and like we got to straighten this out, we got to straighten that out. I think Mike is going to hit this one.
Okay.
They're going to make him go the long way. They saw what Drake May did last week. They'll tighten up. So I'm going to take the under.
The interim bump.
Tighten up. That's your key.
Speaks. Tighten up. All right, Travion Henderson, rushing yards, 40 and a half.
That's
Why did they put
back
this?
to me? I do think he'll have a game where he'll break 40 and a half. I'm going to roll the dice more on Ramondre today, having the game.
Interesting.
So I'm going to say under for Travion.
Okay.
Why not? I'll take the over.
Crazy.
It is a little crazy, but I'll take it.
Fox.
I'm going to take the under. Assuming they, we'll see.
Sorry, that was to the Rams laying it to the Jags right now. Sorry, I just caught the scoreboard. 35-7.
All right, up next we have total punts, 8.5. Shout out to the emailer, Johnny. He was on to something with this one. 8.5. I'm going to,
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to take the over.
Oh.
No one likes to see a lot of punts, but I think we're going to.
It sounds like it might be that kind of game if the weather affects it.
You going over?
I'm going to take the over. What do you take?
I'm going to make it fun. I'll go under.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, and last but not least, total score, 42.5 points.
All right, so I think you're up first.
I always have to do math when I get to this part.
add it
or
up.
at least I pretend to. I
Carry
don't
the
actually.
one.
I'm right, divide by 4. I'm going to take this doesn't make sense. I'll take, anyone else want to go first?
I'll go. I'm going to go under.
I'm stressed.
I'm going under.
Yeah, I took the under as well.
I'm just going to go 3 for 3 under because I was like, the points just might not be there. All right. There we go. We
Maybe
finally
not for
got
the
through that
Titans.
one.
Hopefully.
Right.
All right.
Okay. We have now the.
Feel great about my picks.
You do? That's good. No?
Not
Stressed out. All right, we're going to get into the Sunday Six Pack right now. That is brought to you by the Massachusetts 250 campaign, commemorating a history of possibility. You can plan your revolutionary weekend at massachusetts250.org. All right, how did we do on this one last week?
So on this one, Mike took first place last week at 4-2. Kwani and I were 2-4.
Yikes.
So the season standings, which is still abysmal, Kwani leads at 16-16, followed by me, 15-17, and Mike, despite his win last week, is still in last at 14-18.
Still not bad margin, though. I feel like we're kind of...
I try.
Yeah.
Hasn't been a good week. I think it's been a hard year for picks. I don't know. We've been off even on like other show picks, right? Like is it just me?
Yeah.
No. Kind of.
It's a personal problem.
Fair enough.
Okay, so first up, Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland, 2.5.
Oh boy, I forget what I picked on PU, but
Doesn't really matter what you picked on PU.
It doesn't really matter, does it? Well, I try to be consistent, Paul.
Do you?
But I'm going to go with the Browns in a tight one. I'm going to lay those 2.5 points, but I think it'll be about that close.
Yeah, I'm with Cleveland as well. I could see that defense making life awfully difficult on Tua. Maybe some turnovers today. Give the Browns a home victory.
Yeah, I have Cleveland at home as well. By the way, Mike, I will be stealing this pen. I really like the colors.
You can't tell me to.
I like the colors.
Right? Okay, up next, New York Giants at Denver Broncos. Denver, 7. Minus 7.
I'm gonna lay the 7.
Denver.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the 7 with Denver because it's in Denver, Mike, and that pass rush I think is gonna make
Bonito.
I don't like doing this because I don't like doing the Fred Kirsch rooting for injuries thing. But I don't think Jackson Dart makes it out of this game today. I don't think he finishes the game.
Right.
Perillo.
I think he's had some issues already with some concussions. He runs kind of recklessly. This is not the team to do that against. I think Denver wins going away.
Especially with no air.
Interesting.
I do think the Giants got a little something going.
Yeah.
But this will be a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm picking New York for the plot, even though in my heart of hearts, I do think Denver will win. But New York for the plot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Denver.
Okay. Wise decision.
I think.
Up next, we have the 5-1 Colts at the LA Chargers. LA, 2.5.
Lack.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Are you lacking?
This is a good matchup.
You're up,
Yeah.
Kwani.
I have Indy.
Indy.
I wrote Indy. I'm gonna go with Indy.
Jones.
In LA.
Ooh.
We'll see.
It's a tough one. I'm gonna go. Chargers are banged up, but I'm gonna go with the Chargers at home. Herbert betting a little, giving him the edge.
Yeah, I'm going to be with Mike. I'm going to take the lack, but I could see this going both ways.
Yeah.
I like both of these teams. I think they have some building pieces to build around, but the injuries to the Chargers worry me because I think it's hard to just continue to cover up for all those personnel losses. But I like him at home.
Jonathan Taylor's good. Run game travels. Well, but yeah, we'll see.
Up next, the game we'll be waiting all day for is Sunday Night Football. Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. San Fran 1.5.
Let's back up to me. Yeah, San Francisco getting a little healthy. Man, the Falcons are just so up and down. I'm going to take San Francisco at home. I like that tight spread.
I'm going to take Atlanta. I'm probably going to regret it because the Falcons are one of those teams that always finds a way to lose these kinds of games. But, you know, they have 3 wins this year, all against good teams. I think San Francisco's a pretty good team. I think the Fred Warner loss is huge for them. I'm going to take Atlanta on the road.
Oh, there you go. I'm going to take San Fran at home as well. Like you said, Atlanta's too flaky for me at this point.
Should Kendrick Bourne giving Bill a shout out there pregame down at UNC?
I saw.
Max says hi. I don't know about the Max says hi part, but
did he really? Bourne said that? I missed that.
All right. We have Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit 6.
Oof. Now this is a game. This is a good one.
This is Monday Night Football. Double.
NFC Championship preview, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess.
This is me.
Sure.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Tampa.
I love Detroit. I think they have an excellent team.
You say that every week.
But I like the way Tampa's playing, and looks like they're going to get Mike Evans back. I guess they haven't completely ruled Ibuka out yet, so they might be getting some of their pieces back. Probably no Bucky Irving, but I'm going to take Tampa on the road to at least keep it close.
Doesn't matter when you got Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Let Baker bake.
I'm going to take Detroit.
Wow. Yeah,
the Lions at home.
You got to respect how Baker's playing. I mean, he's just great story for the NFL. It's just something I think, it's just the league's better with him in it. Isn't that what Fred always says?
Yeah, I don't really get it.
But I'm going to be with Kwani. I'm going to take Detroit at home.
And last but not least, the game of the hour, the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. New England.
I think you get to lay it out
under
first,
7.
Yeah.
I have been rolling with
table.
New England since week 1.
Rolling
and
with the
nothing's changing
homies.
today. I'm taking the Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah, I think we all are in agreement. Just not enough offense for Tennessee. Believe me, I could talk myself into like last week. You guys talked me into New Orleans being competitive, and ultimately, you guys were right.
Didn't try to talk you into it this week, Paul.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't see it this week.
Yeah, just don't let Jeffrey Simmons get in and cause a fumble and change the course of the game real quick. I got New England. I'm going to say 27-6. I think.
Yeah, I got 27-9. Mike and I were like very close all
That's
week.
ridiculous, Paul. They'll never get 3 field goals.
All those field goals.
But I'd just like to really see the Patriots on both sides of the ball play with some confidence. I hate the word swag, but play with a little swag. Just start to play like a team that believes in yourself, and you're not just, oh my God, we made a touchdown. Like you're beyond that now. You're showing you're a good team. Continue to build on that, and don't play with your food with this kind of team. This kind of team comes in, you have the opportunity just to eliminate hope right from the get-go. And I think in that regard, it's a really good test for this Patriots team because talk about the rushing offense, passing defense, starts. Fast starts, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You don't want to see Cam Ward come out on the first drive of the game and go right down the field on the Patriots defense like we've seen far too many times this season already. So come out with a good start. I think that I had to come up with a second key. That would be
there we go.
Just fast
Extra
start.
keys.
Don't give them any hope. Get it right out there.
I mean, some weeks you got nothing. This week you just have a multitude of keys.
Well, you got to pick one.
Which is the right key. All right, we have time for one more caller. So Jake in Connecticut, you're the lucky winner. Keep this short though, please. Hi, Jake. Oh,
Jake,
did you fall asleep?
Jake out.
All right. Well, that leaves
Why don't you give Steve a
in
chance?
Kentucky. You're a winner.
Take us home, Steve.
Hey, what's up,
Oh,
guys?
I thought he was gone too. Hi, Steve.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're good.
Good deal. So my name's Steve. I'm down here in Kentucky. Been a lifelong Patriots fan, and for some of the younger generation Pats fans, I'm in my 30s, so I've been following the Patriots since like mid-late 90s. And this is essentially like an appreciation call for Josh McDaniels. I mean, it's been such a blessing, I feel like, having him back in New England. If there's one job that he can't mess up, it's offensive coordinator in New England. And how important do you think it's been this season for him being the OC in his development with Drake May? I think, he's been very effective there in New England the entire years he's been there, of course, with Brady and Belichick. But
I just feel like it could potentially be a different season if we didn't have Josh McDaniels as the OC in New England this year.
Yeah.
Great point. Thank you, Steve.
We'll make it quick, but no, I mean, look at the proof's in the pudding. How's Drake playing? Does he look comfortable? Is he spreading the ball around? Does he look like he knows he's doing? Yeah. Let's try to get the offense going, too. I think that's Josh's big challenge here. So here we go, folks.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I give more of the credit to Drake May. I think he's been so much better, in and around the pocket, protecting the ball. I give him the credit for that. Now, I give Josh credit for helping with the protection. I think there are things like the first touchdown pass last week against New Orleans. I know we're up against it. I think that was something that was schemed up, and they had extra protection in there. Last year, I don't think that would have happened. So I give Josh some credit, but I give the vast majority of it to Drake himself.
Well, there we go. We are winding down. It's time to end the show. Unfortunately, time flies when you're having fun. But thank you for sticking with us here on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Duncan. Make sure you stick around after the game to see if I give Deuce his pen back, but also to recap everything that goes down in the Patriots-Titans game. For Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault, I'm Kwani Lunis. Thank you for watching.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.